you can pay it directly. Officials appointed by Marja al-Taqleed to collect Zakat. You can't pay them, it is the responsibility of Marja al-Taqleed to organize that. Then you have al-Mu'allafa Qulubuhum, the weak of heart in Islam. There are a group of people, they used to live in the past, maybe they are still existing. They are Muslims, but they're barely Muslims. So they take money from Baytul Mal Muslimin. They take money by Imam, by Rasulullah, or by Marja' to stay Muslims. And there are people who are not Muslims, who live under Muslim country rule, and they receive money from Baytul Mal to support Muslim government. These are mentioned in the Quran as al-mu'allafa qulubuhum, whose hearts are weak in Iman. They also receive Zakat in general, including Zakat al-Fitr. But can I give it to either of these? No. Only Marja' al-Taqleed or his representative can do it. Okay? It's not just for Zakat al-Fitr, general Zakat. Okay. Then captives or slaves of a riqab, slaves. Good luck finding a slave. Wal-gharimun, people in debt. People in debt that they have no means of paying it back, but they have gained the debt lawfully. They didn't, like, for example, cheat their way into getting the debt. Say they borrowed it lawfully with the aim of paying it back, but for some reason they can't pay it back anymore. They receive zakah. Number 7, in the way of Allah. This is a very general category. Anything that serves the community is considered in the way of Allah. Again, you can't pay this, only Marja' al-Taqleed decides. So you either pay for the poor and needy or give it to Marja' al-Taqleed and he will spend it. What will be examples of this? Building mosques, building bridges, building hospitals and schools, all these things. And finally, the wayfarer. Wayfarer is a traveler who is stranded. Someone who arrived at your country and they can't go back to their country. Okay? So they receive zakah. There are some details, I'm not going to bore you with them. Let's immediately jump. So you know you should pay the poor or the needy. The other groups, it's not up to you to decide. It's up to the Marja' of Taqleed. But there are some extra conditions. It's not for any poor or needy person. They have to be what? Mu'min. Mu'min means Shia Muslim. Okay? Straightforward. They have to be Shia Muslim. And what else? They can't be one of 3 groups, even within Muslims, Shia. They can't be someone who abandoned prayer, meaning someone who doesn't pray, can't receive it. Someone who drinks alcohol, can't receive it. And someone who talks openly about sins. It's called mujahir al-fusuq. Many people sin, but they hide it. But some people boast about their sins. If they do that, or they don't pray, or they drink alcohol, you can't. Now you might say, how do I know if they don't pray? Well, you have reason to doubt. If you don't know, then assume the best. But if you know for a fact that they don't pray, even if they are mu'min, you can't. Now question, if I have a neighbor, he is poor, he prays, he never sins and everything, he's a Muslim, but he's not Shia, he doesn't believe Amir al-Mu'mineen, is the right Khalifa after Rasulullah. Can I pay Zakat al-Fitr to him? Simple. No. They have to be Shia and they have to not do any of these to pay. Salam. Okay. One more. Okay. There is some detail. If you knew that paying the money for this person, he might use it for to sing. In other words, this person who receives the zakat doesn't have to be adi. Okay, but they have to not commit any sin openly. But sometimes, you know, for example,
oversubscribed,
yes.
mashallah.
MashaAllah, salawat.
Allah.
So who received the zakat, a poor or a needy, they have to be mu'min, Shia Muslim. They have to pray, not abandon the pray. Don't drink alcohol and don't openly sin. If giving the money, the zakat to them, will help them sin, you can't do it. If you know for a fact that it will help them sin, say for example they are collecting money to travel for a haram reason. Or maybe you know they are, I don't know, they are into music and they want to buy records with a music that is haram. Obviously you can't. Actually it might become haram for you to pay zakat for them if you are supporting their sin. If you don't know, you assume the best. We're talking if you know for a fact. Okay, finally, they can't be your dependents. So in other words, you can't give zakat to your son, okay? So they have to be mu'min, all these conditions, and they can't be your dependents. In other words, the people you are already paying for, you can't take the money you're paying for your son and you give it to another son. You can't do that, okay? Do you know about the Hashemites? People from the Hashim descendants.
Sadat.
Sadat. I don't know what you call it in Pakistan.
Sadat.
Sadat. Okay. A Sayyid is someone who is, you know, a descendant of Hashim. They're called Hashemites. Okay. One rule. A Hashemite can only receive Zakat Fitra from a Hashemite. A Hashemite can be poor as well, can be needy. They can only receive it from someone who is also a Hashemite. So, the person who is paying, they have to recognize, is the man I am paying a Hashemite or not? He is poor, but he Sayyid. If he is Sayyid, then I have to be Sayyid to give the money to him. So, a Sayyid can give Fitra to a Sayyid and non-Sayyid. Okay? While a non-Sayyid can give it only to a non-Sayyid. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So, you know yourselves, are you a Sayyid or not? If you're a Sayyid, don't worry. Any person who is poor or needy, who meets these conditions, they pray, you don't know that they drink, you don't know that they openly sin, or boast about their sins, they're not your dependents, you can give them the zakat or fitra. If you are not a Sayyid, before you give, ask, are you a Sayyid? Because if you are a Sayyid, you cannot take this money, okay?
Do you know why is that the case? Why is it that way?
I think in Hadith Ahl Bayt, zakat generally is a way, a means to purify the money. It is described in Riwayat Ahlul Bayt as being the dirt of people's money. So when you want to clean yourself, you take the dirt out. So you want to purify the money, you take the dirt out. The dirt being zakat. You pay it away and your money is now clean. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want the Sayyid to take, as it's mentioned in Hadith Ahlul Bayt, Allah made it haram for them to take the dirt of other people's money. Okay? It's a strange image, but this is how Ahlul Bayt described it. So that is why they only take it from a Sayyid. It is as if Allah doesn't want the descendants of Hashim or Rasulullah to receive charity from outside the family. But if a Sayyid gave it to me, it's related to me. It's not a big deal. You know what? If you know what I mean. Okay, and that includes khums as well. Always, Sayyid, they don't take charity from non-Sayyid.
They can take khairat or like
Yes, they actually have.
Mustafa.
Yes, and they can take charity from only a Sayyid, and actually sometimes maybe from not Sayyid, but as long as it is not humiliating. Like you can give a Sayyid, for example, 50 cents as a charity.
Yes.
You can't give them £100, but a non-Sayyid you can give whatever. Okay, so there are some rules for Sayyids. Okay. I've never paid Zakatul Fitra. What do I do? You still have to pay it. Okay. How many years have passed? Every year you calculate it, and you still have to pay it. The niyyah would be neither ada nor qada. It will be qurba ila Allah. Okay. Some miscellaneous rules. Do I have to tell the poor person or the needy person I'm giving fitra, this is zakat al-fitra? No. Do I have to make them buy food? You can give food. When we say you can give equivalent amount of money, do I have to tell them, look, this is £5, go and buy 3 kilograms of rice with it? You don't have to. He can use it as in any way he finds it okay, whatever he wants, he can spend it on whatever. Okay? Not necessarily food.
slightly unrelated, but is what's the ruling for fidya? Do you have to make them buy food?
Oh, fidya, you have to feed them actually.
Had to feed them.
Yeah. Fidya, you have to feed them.
Right.
And the way you do it is you pay it for someone and they feed them.
Right. Okay.
Can't give money for fidya.
Can't give
Buy food.
Yeah, but I can check up on that.
I think last time we said that you have to make sure that whoever you're giving to will buy food.
Yes.
So it won't be any other. And same for kafara as well, isn't it? Like
Yes. Yeah, it's kafara. Feeding 60.
6.
Yeah.
Inshallah, won't have to do that.
Okay. So there is some. Oh, that is interesting. The khums. Do I have to pay khums from Zakatul Fitra? Have you ever thought of that? So many people ask this question. Okay, basically, some people they don't pay khums. If you pay khums regularly, then your money is clean. You can use it to pay fitra. Or if the money that you are using to pay fitra hasn't been with you for a whole year, you can use it to pay fitra. But if someone, la samahullah, doesn't pay khums, and the money he's going to pay with has been with him for more than a year, so this money is not his, not his money. There's a fifth of it that doesn't belong to him. So how does he pay it? Okay, he has to pay khums for that. Let's say my zakat fitra is £4. Then the khums, I take £5. Sorry, I take £5 and pay £1 khums, and then I have
For
£4.
pure pounds.
That is pure, and you can use it
Right.
for sadaqah.
Pounds.
For zakat fitra. So if someone doesn't pay khums, they still have, and this will apply to everything. They go to Hajj, they have to do khums before they use the money to go to Hajj. Okay, obviously this person is he's doing a sin, inshallah, he won't do it. But if this was the case, you don't have to make it extra complicated for yourself and pay from unpure money. Take some money, pay the khums from it, and use that for zakat al-fitra, and it will be pure. Now, effectively you're paying how much? You're paying 5 pounds, right? 1 khums and 4 zakat al-fitra. 1 khums and 4 fitra. Can you give it to the poor? the whole £5? Big question. No, you can't. Because the khums you can only pay to Marja Taqlid or his representative. So what you do, you pay the 1 to Marja and the 4 to the poor. Or you pay the whole thing to Marja Taqlid. That's fine. So if you want, you can take the money. We said this year khums is about, Zakat al-Fitra is about £5. Okay? Then how much money you have to pay? Is it 6.1? Something like that?
Have to pay
6.2 pounds.
Oh, okay.
If you don't pay khums.
Right.
So the money, so that would be 1.2 pounds as
khums,
khums
yes.
and 5 as zakah, right? Who works in finance? I'm not very good with
Karar is a
numbers.
mathematician.
Yeah, oh yeah. So you can pay 6.2 to the Marja Taqlid, or you pay 1.2 to Marja and 5 to the poor. Okay, that is for khums.
Brother, one question. What is the ruling for the money that sits in a company account, for example, or homes?
Money that sits in a company account. Do you mean?
Like if the money belongs to a company, not to an individual,
Yeah.
then what is the ruling for homes? Does it still apply on it, or?
It's your company, but the money is in a company.
Yeah.
So company is an entity, legal, separate entity than yourself.
That's the question. It's a legal entity. It's not a normal person.
But it's treated as a person in UK law.
That is not your saving, like this is a company money.
It's
It's
a
not your
company
saving.
money.
Mine pays homes.
I don't know. But we'll ask for it. Very good question. Thank you.
Ali Bhai probably has a comment.
the answer to that question.
Okay. Almost done. There is one case called joined. You know when we talked about dependents, they're dependent on you, so you are supporting them. Oh, joint supporting. let's say it like that. And then I know this is really bad translation. Assume you and your wife work together, and you both support the family. So the children are dependent on you and on your wife. Okay, so it's not only you who everyone is dependent on. So two people who the whole family depend on. So who has to pay Zakat Fitra? And this applies a lot, especially if you live in a family with brothers.
Joint.
All provide for the family. Okay. The wajib is joined as well. So the husband and the wife have to both pay Zakat al-Fitr. How? It has to be divided according to how much they support the family. Let's assume they work similar jobs and the family relies on them 50% each. So Zakat al-Fitr is £5, each will have to pay £2.50 for every person. Let's say you have a family of 4, okay? Obviously, the total amount of Zakah is £5 by 4, that is 20. So £20 has to be paid. 50% from the husband, that is £10, and 50% from the wife, that is £10. Now, if the husband if the husband works like 75%, he has to pay 75% also. The husband might say, look, this is so much confusing. Okay, I will pay the whole thing. I will pay the whole £20 and I will excuse my wife from the rest. What do we say? It relates to a question we talked about earlier. You might pay extra, but the other person still has a wajib to pay. So you don't have the right to say, okay, look, you don't have to pay. You can pay extra if you want, that's fine. But she still has to pay her share. So one way to get out of it is, if you want to be on the extreme safe side, each person, the husband and the wife, pay the whole amount. So the husband pays 20 and the wife pays 20. There's an example of someone who happens a lot in Syria. Someone gets married and he has wife and kids. He lives in the house of his parents. So we have the grandfather, and then we have the father and wife and sons and daughters. Okay? There is a family living in this father, he's supporting his family through work. he works and he buys food and everything. But the house is from the grandfather. So who are the family depending on? Both the father and the grandfather. So here, when it comes to time of Zakat al-Fitra, the father might say, look, I am always like taking house from my father. I don't want to be a burden. I will pay Zakat al-Fitra. We say, it's not up to you, okay? You have to pay, say 50%, 60% of Zakat al-Fitra. You might want to pay the whole thing, but your father has still to pay his share of supporting the family. Okay? Almost done. Just say a closing remark on Zakah. Zakah was mentioned in the Quran 30 times. 27 of those was mentioned with the Salah in the same ayah. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة. Those who establish Salah and give away Zakah. رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة. Subhanallah. Salah and Zakah are always close to each other. There's a hadith, من لا زكاة له لا صلاة له. He who doesn't pay Zakah doesn't do Salah. We know Salah is very important. It's the pillar of religion. If it's accepted, everything is accepted. If it's not accepted or rejected, everything is rejected. So Zakah will make your Salah perfect. If you don't pay Zakah, your Salah will not be accepted. And the duality of Zakah and Salah has captured the imagination of ulama, of Shia and Sunnah schools of thought. Why in the Quran always mentioned Salah and Zakah? We will see what Allama Tabatabai said in Mizan. He said in Tafsir Ayat 37 of Surah An-Nur, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered people with Salah and many other ibadat to Allah. And He ordered the people of Zakah and many other ibadat to the creations of Allah. So Salah represents your relationship with Allah and Zakah represents your relationship with the community. He also says, these two foundations of Sharia, Salah is the foundation of ibadat and Zakah is the foundation of mu'amalat. You know, we have ibadat, worship, ritual worship, and we have mu'amalat, relationship or transactions or dealings. If you have Minhaj al-Salihin by Sayyid Sistani, it's in 2 volumes. Number 1, ibadat, including Salah, Sawm, Hajj. And number 2, mu'amalat, Zakah, khums, marriage, trade, all those kind of things. So Salah and Zakah are related. He also says in Tafsir Ayah 3 from Surah An-Naml, الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون. He said Salah is an act of body and Zakah is an act of money. So you do the act of worship with your body and with your power, which is your money. So you worship Allah with your body during Salah, and you worship Allah with your power or the means of living, which is money, through Zakah. Why Salah, all the ibadat, it is the pillar of religion, pillar of faith. As if Salah is the pillar of faith for ibadat, Zakah is the pillar of faith for mu'amalat.
Subhanallah.
In Al-Kafi, I found this riwayah. Sulaiman bin Khalid asked Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Imam said, "Oh Sulaiman, would you like me to tell you about Islam? The tree of Islam," he says. It's a trunk, it's a branches, and it's a crown. The crown is the uppermost part of a tree. So Imam is referring to Islam as a tree, and he said, would you like me to tell you about Islam? It's a trunk, it's a branches, and it's a crown. He said, by all means, Yabna Rasulillah. He said, as for the trunk, it is Salah. The trunk of Islam is Salah. The branches of Islam is Zakah. And the crown of Islam is Jihad. And then he told him, would you like me to tell you about the doors of khair, doors of welfare, that will open all welfare to you, all goodness to you? He said, please tell me. He said, as-sawmu junnah, fasting is protecting from hellfire. Was-sadaqa tadhhabu al-khati'ah, and paying charity or zakah erases the sin. وَقِيَامُ الرَّجُلِ فِي جَوْفِ اللَّيْلِ يَذْكُرُ اللَّهِ. And the best thing is to stand up in the middle of the night mentioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Salatul Layl. We know Zakat and Salah are very close by to each other. They're mentioned, as I said, 29 times in the Quran together. And we all know about them. When we're doing ziyarah of Ma'sumin, we always say, Ashhadu, I witness, I bear witness, أنك أقمت الصلاة, that you have established to pray, وأتيت الزكاة, and you've given away zakah. وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر. You've all done ziyarah to Imam Hussein. أشهد أنك أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة. Always salah and zakah together in Quran, in riwayat Ahl Bayt, in ziyarah. And we know the most absolute perfect example of joining salah and zakah was manifested in Amir al-Mu'mineen when he gives zakah during ruku'.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We will mention the story very quickly for Barakah. Rasulullah was sitting in the masjid and he rested his head, his holy head against the wall, I think, and he said, Oh Allah, you said in the Quran that Musa asked you to support him with his brother Harun. Oh Allah, I don't think you love Musa more than you love me. I will ask you the same thing. Do to me as you did to Musa. Support me with a brother who has my same flesh and blood that I do. And then he looked and he saw Amir al-Mu'mineen praying. He might have been doing nawafil. A man went into mosque and he said, I am a poor person, O Muslims, give me charity. No one gave me charity. He said it the second time, and the third time he said, may Allah be the witness, I came to Medina, to Masjid Rasulullah, and I asked for charity, and no one gave me charity. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen put away his finger, and he told the man to come and take the ring. Obviously, Quran says zakah, it is charity. But in Quran, the word zakah includes charity, khums, and zakah. And then Rasulullah was looking at that. And then Jibreel came and he said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Innama waliyukum Allah, your Lord is Allah, wa rasuluhu and his prophet, wal mu'minun and mu'minun. Which every moment is our wali? No. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. Those who do salah and give away charity while they're prostrate. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our fasting and our amal, our ibadat. Today is the last night of month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us one of those who are sa'imin and qa'imin, wa an yu'tiqa riqaba min an-nar. Oh Allah, deliver us from hellfire. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all the mu'mineen and mu'minat and muslimin and muslimat. And we ask Allah to hasten the appearance of our Imam Sahib al-Zaman and make us from his soldiers and people who martyr within his hands. For this niyyah we recite loud salawat and al-Fatiha.
Allah.